Welcome back to the ESL Vainglory Cup Series number 4. I'm Jason Kaplan, joined by Don John. I almost called you Don Berries for some weird reason, since Blueberries joins me on Wednesday. We're getting into now our penultimate match of the night. It's going to be Red Team 1 up against Feetspellen, and I believe the picks are pretty much ready. So I think we can drop in just a few seconds.
Yep.
And see how this game is going to kick off. And you can walk us through the bands.
That's
because it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we do have actually Feetspellen, their band Cruel, and they said in the second sentence basically, yeah, we are banning Jetpacks because Jetpacks is, well, he implemented basically the Shiver seal on Cruel, so that's a totally ban versus Jetpacks, and yeah, of course, Team Red banned Scarf. So it's going to be interesting if actually Team Red is going to pick up the Scarf in the end. So it's the first time for today seeing Scarf actually in the tournament, an ESL tournament.
Potentially.
But yeah, well...
Potentially. We'll see. We'll see.
Don't jump in.
We're going to tell them to start so we can get this game underway. I'd say this one will kick off. You know, these two teams, Feetspellen, they placed 4th in cut number 3, 3rd in cut number 2, 4th in cut number 1. And you hear the sound. You know what that means. We're going to drop straight in and see how the picks actually do go. And
I'm so curious what they are going to pick.
They're not on Scarf.
No, they can't. Scarf is banned for
I mean, that's yeah, exactly. I meant Red Team 1, they haven't picked Scarf.
Yeah, we'll see. Jetpacks is right now on a Kosh Cup, so might not go for the Scarf. I would recommend actually going for the Scarf. There is one not quite locked yet. I mean, if they're going to pick a Scarf, it's probably going to be jungle support Scarf. Definitely not a lane Scarf.
I had a brilliant idea last night. Actually, I was dreaming, I think, when I came up with this idea. Why don't you build the shooter on Scarf as your first item instead of the contract?
The shooter? You mean the Swifty shooter?
Swift shooter, yeah. Why don't you build that on Scarf?
For attack speed.
Yeah. It makes you that much more... Yeah, it makes you that... Okay, if you look at battle potential of an item...
Why not? But the problem with the Spitfire is not the attack speed, it's the cooldown. So rather go for cooldown reduction.
Because the damage that you get comes out of the passive from your auto attacks.
That's true. Yeah, well, but if you don't hit your Spitfire, well, I get what you mean. But
because you either
get
get like a contract, right? Or you get boots, we've seen in the past. So if you go the Swift Shooter, you get the contract later. You can be more deadly in the early game, more of a threat in the early game because you can stack up your passive quicker.
It's a good idea, actually.
I think I just broke the meta with Scarf, but too bad he's probably getting nerfed.
It's interesting that you
I think it's a good idea.
Dreaming about Vainglory.
I think it's a good idea. I think it can work. They're actually on the wrong sides. Great.
Ooh.
So they're on the wrong sides. Well, I guess we're going with it.
So guys, we do have on the blue side Team Red 1, and on the red side we are seeing Team Feetspellen. By the way, Jason is fixing the names so you guys can see that. We do see actually a hard invade from Feetspellen. They're going sneaky, rotating overwards, and on the downside we do see Team Red wondering, well, where's the enemy? They don't want to face that Scarf right now. And somehow we do see Leia in lane. Tony, Luo, and Bayou are at the moment not unveiled, so they don't know that they're sitting in there. Red Wolf is now coming in from behind. That could be a first blood, actually. There are 3 members collapsing onto Red Wolf. Red Wolf might go down. Mercless Pursuit perfectly timed, and that's a first blood for Team Feetspellen. I like that move. In terms of gold, it brought them back up since they just lost 2 camps to AD0 and Jetpacks. Oh no, it's 2 camps. We aren't quite so sure. So the body jungle system is going on as normal, and actually I liked the move. It's something new, and I never saw that on ESL so far, that a team actually rotates above the Kraken pit into that bush and waits until the laner comes from the wrong side, since they saw in the tri-bush there is no one connecting with them. So let's just move towards it. Let's see how much farm we can sneak out of it, and then Red Wolf feels comfortable moving upwards. No one is in that bush, stepping into the lane and getting bursted.
Well, it did cost him his first death, but luckily for him, their team is still ahead in gold overall. 823 to 460, but they're able to pick up another kill. Jetpack's lay on a sliver of HP. Jetpack's trying to run away, and Tony Lowe being forced to go back on his talk. He actually might be able to turn here and go straight to Jetpacks. His Jetpacks is all by himself, does get stunned up. And Red Wolf wasn't there to back him up, but they will escape this one and back away in the meantime. But they're now losing control of the jungle. Feetspellen and those 2 kills that they're able to pull off are actually putting them behind because they've lost control of their own camps, because of their own jungle. And This might be a slippery slope, so they need to do something about this to counter that and stop themselves from losing a lot of their static income that always respawns in their jungle.
So it looked for a second like it's going to be a favor for you in lane, since you somehow like seeing Taka in lane, I guess. But right now it's rotating back to a double Vox lane, which is quite interesting as well, since we do see the Swifty shooter on Leia, and Red Wolf is on a Crystal Bit and Boots already. The Splitfire is hitting, but it's not dealing too much damage now. There's the passive following up through the auto attacks. Two auto attacks actually hitting, and you
Swifty
see...
shooter on 80-0, you could have did more damage from that.
I totally agree with that. I'm going ahead and to try that out.
I'm gonna try it out. Like
yeah.
I think it's 100% legit because it makes you such a big threat in the jungle. But 80-0 kind of getting caught. Leia though not on that much HP. 80-0 should fall from this.
Yeah.
And that is a 3-0 lead now for Feetspawn. They're still down 400 gold, 600 gold, but they're ahead in kills. But it's all about the gold to me.
Yep. You should have probably not told us the theory about the Swifty on stream, since now you're probably going to face, the next time you're going solo or public queue, you're going to face a Scarf with the Swifty shooter. So we'll see about that. There's actually a heavy prism already on Red Wolf. He has not picked up a kill yet. He has, well, let me check for a second, 11 last hits compared to 10, so lane is quite even at the moment. But there's a bit slightly more damage out of Red Wolf at the moment, so we will see how he can clear, actually quite simultaneously clearing the wave here. Jungle is nothing special happening as well. Quite interesting what Tony Lu is actually going end up buying out of his 1k gold he has there right now. Looks like boots and a piercing shirt, which should be piercing spear, excuse me, piercing spear, which should be the path to go for a tension bow.
Okay, well, we'll see if he does continue to go towards that ASAP, or maybe switch items up a little bit later on. But
well, I guess he's probably going to pick up the tension bow quite early, since tension bow is falling down basically late game quite fast. Again, it's the second time that he's running into 3 members of Team Feetspawn. I mean, Tony Lua is burning a bit, Jetpacks is following up. He will wind up probably getting the kill. No, it's 5 seconds left until his next Pouncy Fun would have been up, so no chance to secure that kill. The Stormguard is up from Bayou, so he can survive that one as well. Also pushed a Helican Potion, so no pickup yet. 0 kills for Team Red, and somehow they managed to have a gold lead still. And Red Wolf coming in from behind versus Leia. Leia is 1 level ahead, but has only a Swifty shooter so far, did not buy any items. 1.6, nearly 7k gold at the moment, and well, Red Wolf is going shopping. I thought, though, at least. He's not.
maybe after this wave, and then he'll go back and shop. They do still have, quite a significant gold lead. And yeah, they're losing 80-0 over and over again. He has 3 deaths out of their 4 total. But they're still coming out ahead when it comes to taking away camps and forcing the team back. Feetspawn need a responses. They're committing a lot of their CC, a lot of their abilities and their cooldowns towards killing 0. But then Jetpack's just free to roam around and do some good damage. Red Wolf as well. So yeah, it's a positive they're getting kills, but it's also negative that they just completely, they can't turn that 1 kill into 2 or turn it into 3 or turn it into them getting control of the jungle back.
So yeah, it's quite interesting. We'll see. I don't know. He's not able. Tony Lu is not able to buy the tension bow yet, and is also not level 6. We do have Jetpacks level 7 actually already on the side of Team Red, but somehow could not use his Yummy Cat and Frenzy yet to pick someone up. Using his boots now to run into a Scout Trap, 2 Scout Traps, a Pouncy Fun onto Bayou the tank. It's not quite the person you want to get a bit of burst down. There's a Yummy Cat and Frenzy onto Tony Lu, getting a lot of damage out of that. A Sonic Zoom back in for Leia. Tony Lu on his Kaku, able to survive for a second. Sliver of health left, and this the first kill for Team Red.
Okay, so they're able to, again, outduel them. 80-0 didn't get caught this time, but it's really showing that Jetpacks and Robo for the 2 men to really do the damage when the time comes. 0. Scout Trap almost finishing him off. Jetpacks should be fine. And there we go. Red Team 1 do get the gold mine, and they do secure themselves an even greater lead, a 2.2 thousand gold lead, even though the kills is 1-4, still in favor of Feetspawn.
So they didn't really care about killing that much. They just cared about getting everyone to level 6, at least level 5 already for 80-0, but since he is only question marks, only the tank in this team, but we know that Scarf still can do a lot of damage through his passive, as you mentioned that a couple of times already. So we will see whenever he turns level 6 how much damage he's actually able to pull off with his auto attacks after his Dragon Breath.
Are you kidding me? I'm seeing in chat people are talking about they've been using the Swift Shooter first on Scarf.
Well,
because they read it on the forums, and I had that in a dream. I swear I didn't read the forums and I thought of that.
But I think what you mean is basically also as in Scarf in on a contract, or who's going for a contract, buying not the contract first and instead of that the Swifty Shooter. And to be honest, I didn't see that quite often. I mean, there are a bunch of people which, when they are not playing for a contract and not the tank in the team as a Scarf, buying instead of a contract early game a Swifty Shooter, not quite recall that seeing it too often. So credits to your idea still.
Yes.
in my perspective, at least. So.
Well, we'll try it out ourselves and see how it works out for us. But in the meantime, Tony being forced back yet again, popping his stealth just to get away. By himself needs some backup, and Leia does get a nice ultimate across the team, but not enough, and that's going to be 2 quick kills. The third one was certainly coming in. He does get silenced up. The auto-attacks are looking pretty good. And there is the ace, tying kills up finally. The gold's still almost a 3,000 difference now as it's just steadily growing for Red Team 1. And they're going to pick up a turret off of this, most certainly.
Yeah, I liked how Red Wolf used in that trial bash area right now when somehow Leia went back in, used his boots just to dodge everything, just to ran from one side to the other side. But, well, you can't really dodge Sonic Zooms. If it's once locked on you, you really can't dodge it. But still, I liked seeing that. A nice scout trap, though, popping actually on the minion miner bash of Team Feedspellen. And they do have another one right here beneath the heal minion. And we talked about that a lot already, especially if you have someone like Taka or Koshka, you can actually jump on that with your X-Retsu. We saw Fuji doing that a couple of times onto that minion in the game before versus Red. So we'll see about that. Not Red, I'm sorry. That's Red Team 1 is playing right now. Bayou is getting bursting down.
The burn, it's going to be enough. 6-4 now, and it seems like Red Team 1 have gotten control of this game finally. Then again, they never looked like they lost control. It was just kind of showing, well, it looked like they did because of the kill difference, but they never fell behind in gold. They're now sitting at a 5,000 gold lead. These items are, it's being reflected on items again very, very soon. You can see, you know, Tony finish up the tension bow, but that's about all he has. And Boots behind that. You look on the other side, everyone has every single slot of their inventory full except Jetpacks, who is just sitting on 5 currently out of the 6.
Okay, yeah, how's Jan Potion, by the way? I don't know, I always read Helicon, even for the folds, and it's still burned in my brain somehow.
Well, just keep this in your mind. You know 2 languages, and I only know 1.
How's Jan?
So.
Yeah, so. Don John greater than Jason, confirmed.
No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so Red Wolf, Eve of Harvest picked up, alternating current 2. He is deadly.
Yeah.
Jeez, he is deadly. 64 farm compared to 36. He's doubled Leia. That's ridiculous.
That's a ridiculous amount of cash he has in his pocket right now. And had already true-charged it, but... well, I don't really agree with Tony Lua on Taka with the tension bow. It looks like he's also going for Aftershock as well. That's, in my opinion, too much burst damage. And at the moment he really can't pull it off because he's getting picked so fast out of a Yummy Catnip Frenzy mostly. And actually Leia is, as you mentioned, so far behind, and Tony Lua is even further behind. So this is going to be super difficult for Team Fitzbellen to get. Not back into this game, they're not really far behind, but it seems that Red is way stronger at the moment.
It seems like every time I look at the scoreboard, there's another 1,000 gold added to the side of Red Team 1 as they're going in for another fight. They're looking for Bayou and looking for Leia. And Leia, well, he will fall down just a few seconds, but this is looking good. They're able to pick up quite a few kills. Jetpack's being forced to run away. I think Red Wolf got caught out just a little bit too far. But Bayou, he might fall from this one.
Yeah, X-Retsu is up, but he has not enough energy to use it right now. It's now up, and he's probably going to secure the kill with it in a second. No, he used a Kiten, actually, and so he has not enough energy to use his Xretsu, and somehow Red Wolf managed to, Jetpacks managed to survive this.
And he saves the ace too.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to give that regen buff over to Feetspell for them to go for a push. And that does allow him to keep control of this gold line for a little bit longer. We're approaching that 15-minute mark when the Kraken does spawn in. But you can see just levels alone. Jetpack's level 11 to Tony level 9. Red Wolf at level 11 to Leia level 9. Even AD0 is actually just tied with Bios. He doesn't have that much of a lead, but that just shows you how big of a lead Red Team 1 has and how important that last fight was for Feetspell and able to pick up 2.
Yeah, and Red needs to use that now because they're soon to be level 12, and as soon they are hitting level 12, Fitzbellon is able to close the gap in terms of experience. So they really need to use that advantage at the moment, and they need to force team fights. And that's a good thing for Fitzbellon, because if they need to force team fights, they might choose the wrong situation for actually initializing a team fight, and that could be, as we just saw, the possibility of picking 2 members of Team Red up and getting the gold back, basically closing the gap a bit.
Yeah, Red Wolf also needs to play this one. I think he's got a little bit cocky in that last fight. He was pushed up relatively far and then just got completely destroyed. But I feel like he's not going to make that same mistake again. And I was just looking through the abilities, what's been leveled up and whatnot, and actually look at Jetpacks. He leveled up his A and B to 5 before even leveling to level 2 of his ultimate.
Didn't even see that.
So he's he overdrived his A or B,
yeah,
and then is just sitting on rank 1 of his ultimate. So he wants that pure raw damage instead of that cooldown reduction on the ult.
True. So
Only extra bit of damage behind that too. And look at this. This is going to be deadly. Leia instantly bursted down by you on half HP. Tony low. He's going to fall as well. They dive past the turret. And Jetpacks, he wants more. He wants Bayou, and he's taking the turret for a long, long time. Red Wolf is just trying to get in range, and he will finish it off. The whole team will escape. They will get the ace buff, and they will get themselves 2 turrets, I want to say, for this.
Yeah. And also Kraken is about to spawn. That means another gold payout. That means 600 gold at least out of 2 turrets, and then approximated 250 out of the gold miner, and that's nearly a K gold for, closely a K gold for every team member of Team Red, and that's not quite good for Feetspellon. But, well, we will actually see if they're going to try, because we saw Red doing that a couple of times already, try to pick up Kraken as soon she is spawning.
You know, we can think back to the bans as well. We had Cruel banned by Feetspellon, and we thought that would be really interesting to see how it would affect the team. And then we saw Scarf banned by Red Team 1. But to me, I feel like Red Team 1, their Scarf 80-0 hasn't really done that much. Like, he hasn't been that impactful or that scary.
Oh, he's just right now just saying, no, we are not doing Kraken. We are not doing it. No one is doing it, but they are. Actually, they are able after 25 seconds in the fold. She's getting just captured and is now going to push for Team Red. They don't have a minion miner on each side, is both uncaptured. There's a Dragon Breath slowing the team members of Feetspell, and Leia is just standing there and burning to death. Red Wolf tries to connect the Sonic Zoom, not happening. And then Xretsu in, Yummy Cat and Frenzy on top, wait for it, over it to seal the deal. And this should, let's not jump the gun, but that should be game.
I would say so. Leia, it seemed like he might have disconnected there. Tony has 20 seconds to go on his death timer. Kraken will 100-0 that turret very quickly, and Bayou, I mean, what is a Catherine going to do to stop a Kraken? Absolutely nothing. Just put a lot of scout traps just to hold them off. But there we go. The turret will fall. Leia's back in the game, looking for a Red Wolf, but he's getting pushed down relatively quickly. He will fall from this one. Bayou, he will fall too. No ace coming in, but that's going to be the game. And that will be Red Team 1 advancing into the finals to play against Team HC.
That's going to be interesting. I asked you that off-screen in the last break already. Who's going to be banned in the next match? Since we just saw actually a directly banned versus Jetpacks, which did not quite work in the end, since he's on a 409, so he did not die once on Koshka. But they banned him Cruel, which did not work out because they left Scarf open for 80-0, and well, that's going to be an hell of a match in the finals.
Yeah, I think we can both agree the bans did not really do much in that game.
No.
Again, I feel like 80-0 didn't really do much on the Scarf throughout the entire time. Yeah, he was a little bit of a threat, but in the early game, he got just destroyed time and time again. Like
he basically
constantly
was
died.
just the threat.
Just, I think it was more of a mental thing
Yeah.
than an actual
I mean,
result.
it worked in the end. They won the game.
Yeah, they won the game. They did. They did. Very
That's
true.
all what matters in the end, right?
Yep. And that means we're going to head to a quick little break. But when we come back, we'll be kicking off the finals between Team HC and Red Team 1. It is the ESL Vainglory Cup Series number 4. And we'll be back hopefully in just a few.